Hello everyone, I'm Scott, president of Domino's Pizza. Have you heard of Hatsune Miku?
I'm sure most people know who Hatsune Miku is. She doesn't really need any introduction, but since I am a white video essayist, it's kind of natural for me to drag on the video and explain it anyways.
White man has been here.
How can you tell?
Video essay.
Hatsune Miku is a virtual idol and/or vocal synth made by Krypton Future Media back in 2007. Yes, she is that old. The march of time is unstoppable.
Did I drop it in dirt? No. Grow up.
She's also that one girl from Fortnite, or that one girl in the Deltarune Chapter 5 secret fight, and was in Monster Hunter, for some reason. And since Project Diva turned 17 years old recently, I wanted to go back and talk about the entire Project Diva series in release order to celebrate the anniversary of Project Diva. Now to clarify, I will only be covering the mainline Diva games, so I won't be including Mirai, Sekai, or any other game along those lines. Both will get their own videos at some point, but this will be just for the mainline series itself. And I want to say there is already an excellent video on a good chunk of Miku games by Mogi over a year ago, which I highly encourage all of you to watch if you haven't already, as he will go into more detail for people who are rather unfamiliar with Miku and the Diva games as a whole. I will try my best to make it as digestible as possible for people who aren't super into Miku and/or Vocaloid. I will go in with the mindset that people are already familiar with Vocaloid watching this. To start off, we have the original Project Diva, released on July 2nd of 2009, and I think this is arguably one of the most 2009 games that I can think of at the time. This segment of the video will rather be short in comparison to the other games, as the first game is rather bare bones and is vastly improved upon in the later titles. The best way to illustrate what I'm trying to talk about is to start off with the gameplay first off. In comparison to the other games in the series, the first Diva game has no special notes to input, so there are no arrow notes, no star notes, no multi-press, and no hold notes. Another thing to take note of is that the game doesn't have D-pad support, unlike the future titles, so you are stuck pressing X, circle, square, and triangle. However, as you'll see from the gameplay, the buttons are primarily circle and X, due to the square and triangle buttons only being used on higher difficulties, but there is that one time that square was put in Ivan Polka for some reason. However, there is a mechanic called chance time, which is basically like the overcharge mechanic in most other rhythm games that gives you extra bonus points and you can't lose health in the middle of the song during the climax of it. For a rhythm game with rather basic gameplay in terms of the rest of the series, it's actually surprisingly a lot of fun in its own right, but is mainly carried by the song list in the game. Which, going for track list, we actually have a really good selection for songs. We have classics such as World Is Mine, Melt, Miracle Paint, Love Is War, Electric Angel, Ivan Polka, The Disappearance of Hatsune Miku, and I'll Miku Miku You. With all of them including animated music videos that have really solid dance choreography, Ivan Polka, Disappearance of Hatsune Miku, Electric Angel, I'm Your Diva, and Requiem for the Phantasma, having slideshow music videos including fan art, which is really charming in its own right, but also really funny at the same time. My personal highlights for the track list are Moon, which is a really relaxing and comforting song to listen to. Marginal with having a really cute dance number. and Velvet Arabesque having a beautiful music video to go along with it. A pretty noticeable thing that is missing from the first Project Diva game is that the songs are all done by Miku. There are no other Vocaloid characters such as Kagamin Ren, Megurin Luca, Maiko, and Kaito. Outside of the standard rhythm game content, there is Miku's own room, which you can customize, tweak the furniture, and just change the whole layout of it. And pretty much all she does is just, as the name implies, just sit in her own room, lie down places, examine like bookshelves or whatever. It's rather basic, but it is a cool thing to have. It's not really super important, as I will not be talking about it in the future titles. And there is another thing, which is other costumes known as modules. And these can be changed between each song individually and will apply during the music videos. The first Project Diva game is something that feels more like a bunch of fans being hyper obsessed with Miku at the time making than it does feel like a big company like Sega making a super big game about Miku. And it feels kind of amateur in comparison to the other games, but it does have this specific charm that can only be found in the first game, which I do think it is a really solid title, but it is vastly improved upon in the future games. And this part is going to be unscripted. Since I am a wannabe YouTuber, I'm going to be making a tier list of every single Diva game to give like a final like judgment of which is the best and which is the worst in the series. So to start off with the first Project Diva game, I feel like there's a lot of aspects to it that are missing that make a really good Diva game, but it's not like bad. It's mainly just that it was the first, so I can't be entirely mean to it, as it is the blueprint for every subsequent game moving forward. But I do feel like there was a lot of aspects to be improved upon in the future titles, such as, well, with all the aspects like changing further on and more variety being added to the later games. So if I am gonna put this in a tier, I'd probably put it in standard. It is not a bad game. It's a really good game, but it's mainly a game that I don't see a lot of people raving about wanting to come back to. It is a game that is mainly meant to appeal to people like me who were really into Miku and wanted to just experience the franchise as a whole. So I will be putting it in standard, as I think it's a solid game with a lot of aspects that needed to be improved upon for future titles. For Project Diva Second and Extend, I will be combining both these games into the same segment, as both are pretty identical to each other, with Extend just having a different song list altogether. And this will also be applying to F and F Second and Future Tone and Megamix. To start off with changes for Diva Second has a proper tutorial this time to actually teach you the gameplay mechanics, with Ivan Polka being used as the tutorial song. With this game, it introduces 3 changes to the gameplay, with the D-pad being usable for pressing notes, which makes the game a lot more fluid to control and just generally more pleasant to play. The addition of 2 new special notes, arrow notes, which require you to press both the D-pad and the corresponding button at the exact same time, as well as hold notes, which, as the name implies, you hold down until the correct timing to continue your combo. Also adding a entirely new difficulty altogether, which is Expert, which, well, is just a harder version of hard. There's nothing really much else to say about it. With the introduction of new Vocaloid character, it vastly improves the song's roster with a lot more variety, with Rin and Lin getting some of my favorite songs in this track list. Rin getting Kokoro, Meltdown, Naruto. Solitude's End. Lin getting Butterfly on your right shoulder. With the extend version of Butterfly on your right shoulder using audio from Miku's first ever live concert. Into the End of Infinity. Paradigm Chlorobenzene. Luca gets Magnet. Just Be Friends. And Luca Luca Night Fever. Miku getting Change Me. And Kaito getting Cantarella. As for Miku, she arguably gets her best tracks in the entire series through these two games with Romeo and Cinderella. Look This Way, Baby. Popey Po. Rolling Girl. And my favorite Vocaloid song ever, Two-Face Lovers. as their bonus content this time around, we just get a bigger roster of modules to use this time, as well as introducing special characters that have no songs dedicated to them, which those are Akira Nieru, Yowane Haku, Sakane Maiko, and Kasane Tera later as DLC. Project Diva 2nd and Extend are excellent games and a great way to send off the PSP titles with practically no faults that I can think of, as they are only limited by their hardware at the time, and I think they are some of the best games in the entire Diva series as a whole. Now, for F2nd, that's the wrong fucking game. Now, for Diva 2nd and Extend, I have... these games, I feel like I'm more actually, like, gonna be, like, very positive about them, as they do a lot more of what I want from a Project Diva game. But I don't quite think these games are, like, the best in the series, and you'll see that in the next video I'm gonna do, which, next one's gonna be on the PS3 games, which I honestly cannot wait to talk about. But I love the PS3 titles. They're so fucking good. But, back on the subject for 2nd and Extend, I will probably put Diva 2nd, like, top of great, as it is one of the better games in the series, but it's not quite the best. And Extend is going in excellent, as I think it's the best PSP title we have, and it's not even a contest, as Extend kind of just has everything you want from a PSP game. With all the modules, DLC characters, and the song variety, with them introducing some of the best songs ever. And Diva Extend with Wawaka's music, which, my god, that shit fucks, is excellent, and I love those songs. But yeah, I will leave Diva Extend in excellent and Diva 2nd in great. For the next video I'm gonna do, it's gonna be on F and F2nd, which, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if anyone's this far watching it. I kind of just made this video just to yap about Miku because I like her a lot. But hey, if you're watching to the end, that's pretty cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. But I'm just gonna continue making these just for my own amusement, and I'm way too Miku-brained. But the next titles will be on the PS3 games. I will not be including Dreamy Theater, as those are just the PSP games with ports, and I'm gonna be honest, they're a little chopped. They're a little chopped for games, I can't lie. But yeah, PS3 games will be coming soon, very soon. But in the meantime, I want to say thank you for your time. I appreciate you if you got to the end, and even if you had me on in the background just yapping, thank you anyways. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope that, like, if you liked it, you know, do the standard YouTube stuff, subscribe, like, whatever. But yeah, I'm really bad at outros. I can't really say anything. So this will be the first video for my Project Diva series analysis. So thank you and good night.